What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody, back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our favorite 222 mentally disturbed individual, DSP. That's right, and we're taking a look at his daily rap video from last night after a day of, how can I just say, our boy Phil decided finally that he was going to try to own the ridicule and turn it upside its head. And sadly, of course, just like with everything Phil does, it just doesn't turn out the way he expects it to turn out. That's right. Our boy decided he was going to be back to the e-begging fool he is, and he didn't care, and he was just going to be outright just horrible person. A true 220. And sadly, it didn't work out for our boy Phil. Anyway, let's see what he had to say on the Daily Wrap.
Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Wednesday, the 19th of February, 2025. So let's talk, because today was a great streaming day. Overall, had lots of stuff to cover and talk about. Some good developments with various different things, great new games. Let's go. Let's talk about it, all right? So, on the Level 1 podcast today, I had various interesting topics to talk about, including a big update with Smart Guys. And one of the updates is that I was looking to possibly get a box of WWE Topps trading cards to unbox live during Smart Guys, because it would be kind of neat to do so. I used to actually collect cards like that back in the day when I was a kid, and to do this, so many years later, and to see what cards look like now from Topps, and see if we could get a rare chase card on the show, I thought would be pretty cool. But I talked about my difficulty in trying to actually find a legitimate big box of these, because it seems like today collecting is really, really hard to do. I actually made a highlight clip about this that I'm going to upload overnight. I hope you'll give it a look, because I felt like it was probably one of the most interesting things of the show today. Also, there was a couple news stories, one covering that Xbox may soon be using AI to make games, or to change the way that they make games available for the modern audiences for posterity. That was kind of interesting. And also, there was a story about the former VP of Amazon Gaming, who no longer works for Amazon because he did a poor job, stating how he didn't understand anything about gaming or anything about why people would want to go with Amazon for games. It was the weirdest article. Basically, he's admitting he's a moron and has no common sense. So I talked a little bit about that. So it was a great podcast. Give it a look if you want all those topics. But the highlight tonight will be about collectors and cards and things like that. And that'll go live on the channel overnight if you want to check it out.
Alrighty, so there's a lot there to unpack, folks. So the first thing I do want to mention is the Amazon article. Yeah, the CEO that they hired isn't a gamer. Big whoop. Most companies that hire actual CEOs or whatever aren't people that worked in the industry or maybe have an affinity for that industry. Most of them. These are CEOs that are hired based on their success and track record of running other companies. It's a very common practice, Phil. Now, that article, I did take a look at it. Okay, they're basically just saying it didn't work out. They can't compete with Xbox. They can't compete with PlayStation or Nintendo, and it's really not profitable. And the other thing is the technology for the whole Amazon. It's just not here yet. It's not there yet. So they'll probably try to rebrand it in a few years and take a go at it again. Nothing new here. But yeah, so that was really a nothing burger. That was a very boring segment. The one interesting segment that I did quite enjoy is apparently Phil is trying to get involved in a new Gacha scheme. That's right. So not only spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on WWE Champions, that's not enough for our boy Phil. That's not giving him the endorphin rush he's looking for. Now, apparently, he's looking to get into WWE trading cards. That's right. And this came up during the Smart Guys podcast, where they thought it was a cool segment that maybe if they hit certain goals or milestones, I get to hit that $500 goal, that Phil and PPP, but it really sounds like Phil is going to be wasting the money. He's going to be buying these WWE trader packs, very similar to like Pokemon cards and Magic the Gathering cards. They're like trading cards, and of course the purpose mainly is for collecting and to see if you can get certain cards of high value or whatever, right? So our boy Phil here is a bit of an addict. I mean, I'm not saying anything out of pocket. This is true. Phil said himself that he has a addictive personality, and as we can see with WWE Champions, figurines, all the other nonsense that Phil's wasted money on throughout the years. But, you would think that he would learn his lesson, right? You would think through all these years, through all of the headaches that WWE Champions down from the rafters have brought this guy, you would think he would learn to not get involved in another kind of gotcha game, right? You would think he would stop playing mobile games and put an end to it and just not waste that money. Of course not. Not Phil. Phil now wants to get involved in these WWE Champions trading cards. So apparently PPP has him convinced that, look, man, if you're going to waste your money on JPEGs, Sweaty Men JPEGs, you might as well actually have the physical card, not just the virtual card that you get when you play WWE Champions. And Phil, for some reason, thinks this is such a great idea. And he spent part of his segment actually doing some shopping, which, you know, is always great. Everyone loves a podcast where the host does some shopping on stream, verbatim content. So he apparently was looking to see how much the boxes are. Now, again, this is Phil, not... Okay, so you would think with a new idea for a new segment, you would think you would take it easy, right? You would say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to go all in and buy all this shit. I'm not going to spend $300-$400 on a pack of cards because it may be a dud. It might be a dud. You would say, okay, this is a new segment. Let's buy a couple packs. Let's spend $3 or $4 on a couple packs. Let's see how it works. And if people enjoy it, then maybe we can move on and buy something bigger. Not Phil. Fuck no. Nope. No, go big or go home, right, Phil? He's shopping and he's looking to spend, a couple $100 on a box of cards. Now, if anybody's ever collected baseball cards or even Pokemon cards, you can buy these boxes that give you a whole bunch of packs. And they're roughly pretty expensive. I mean, if you buy one, it'll probably run you about $100 and you get like maybe 30 packs or whatever, right? So Phil spent his podcast trying to shop for the cheapest one. He was thinking it was probably like anywhere between $100 and $150. And being that this is new and a lot of collectors are out there and they're buying these up, and there's just not enough resources, demand high, and the availability is low, the cheapest you can find is like $300. So of course he begged his viewers to say, hey, if you can find it cheaper, let me know. I'll go ahead and buy it. He was even so gung-ho for this that he was even willing to go outside the snort fort. That's right. He was willing to go outside the snort fort and go to like a local comic book store and see if they had it available or if they can order for him for close to retail price. Now, dude, whenever Phil is willing to leave the snort fort for anything, it's a serious fucking addiction with this guy. So yeah, I mean, he hasn't learned his lesson with virtual gacha games. He's now going to get into physical gacha games. And Phil, I'm letting you know right now, if you start this bullshit, you're going to get addicted to it. You are. That's just your personality. I mean, look at people like Boogie. Boogie has spent over thousands of dollars on Magic the Gathering bullshit cards, Pokemon, and other nonsense that he gets into, and it nearly bankrupted him. If you watch the Mike Klum documentary, you would see the wasteful amounts of money this man threw away at these stupid fucking cards. And you're going down the same avenue. And even worse, Phil, is you have an addictive personality. You already have several addictions that you're funneling tons of money in. You just spent almost $2,000 this weekend playing WWE Champions. And that's not going to go away. You're just gonna add this onto the pile of more bullshit that you're wasting money on. Phil, listen to me. I'm taking my detractor hat off. I really am right now. I'm being dead serious right now. This isn't a meme. This isn't Doody joking. This isn't Doody trying to make content. Consider it colleague to colleague, okay? Phil, don't do it. Please, don't get involved in these fucking trading cards. Like, I know you're looking for the next gimmick to make you thousands of dollars, Phil. But you need to be extremely careful, especially with your personality, addictive personality, being that these card games, they suck you in, man. They suck you in because I mean, if you hear the segment, Phil, rewatch that segment of Smart Guys, of you talking about the trading pack, how your eyes lit up, how you were like, no, fuck no, I want to get the packs, open it up, find that very exclusive card. I mean, dude, you could see the gist. You were fiending for it. Like, you wanted to run out right now, or you wanted to run out that night and go get it yourself a bunch of boxes. Calm down, Phil. Calm down. You know how it works, Phil. You spend money on something and it just doesn't work out. Like, you might get a little bump initially, but then it doesn't work out. The lore, the vest. Remember when you invested all this money on lures and how that died out in a matter of a couple of weeks? Just step back a little bit, Phil. And you know what, too? Why don't you ask fucking PPP to spend the money? He has it. He's banking. He has no responsibilities like you do. You know, you got your creatures going on. Ask PPP to fucking buy the box. Why are you spending? And again, Phil, I really think that PPP is trying to fucking snake you. He wants you to have a new addiction so that's the next thing that people can mock you and make fun of. And that gives him more content. Again, Phil, I'm removing my detractor cap off right now. And I'm telling you, as an associate, as someone who doesn't want to see you even spiral even more, don't fucking get into these trading cards, bro. Don't. Because it's just going to be another addiction you're not going to be able to fucking break. And then Doody will be making videos about how much you spent on WWE Champions trading cards. All right, warning done. Let's keep going.
After that, we jumped into Lost Records, the new game from Don't Nod that's narrative-based, similar to, say, Life is Strange. In a nutshell, because I don't want to spoil this game, there are some things about it that are very much like Life is Strange. For example, the quirkiness of some of the writing, the graphics, the narrative structure where you're playing a character, you're walking around, you're making choices, you're interacting with things in the environment, and depending on how you interact with things or what you interact with, it could change things in the game, okay? Notably, you're a character, a teenage girl in the 1990s, but you're also her adult self in the present day, which is set in 2022. And you're basically trying to solve this mystery where you have this time hole in your memory where you can't remember what happened this particular summer in the 1990s with this group of friends that you had. And so you're basically going back in time and reliving some of the stuff that happened then, but then you're going back to the present and you're meeting up with them in the present day. It's kind of a unique premise, but the major gameplay element, if you can believe it, which I never would have expected for this game, is like Pokemon Snap, where you have a camcorder and you're trying to record things with a checklist. So it's like critters, birds, signs, graffiti, scenic views, things like that. It's like, what? So it's Pokemon Snap. But I never would have expected that's what they would have done with this game. In a million years, I wouldn't have thought that's what they're going to put in the next Don't Nod, narrative game. Now, for the record, to my knowledge, this does not tie in with Life is Strange. So there's nothing, like no powers or anything like that. We played for about 2.5 hours. I would say the first hour was interesting. The second hour was all right. And the last half hour was pretty cringe because there started to be plot lines where these teenage girls all of a sudden start to have crushes on each other. Yeah, that's right. They're all gay and they all have crushes on each other. Because what are the chances that 4 teenage girls would meet up in the 1990s and not all be gay for each other, right? So with Don't Nod, this is the kind of schlock that they write. They're pushing their agendas. Every girl's gay, apparently, according to them. But it was all right. Let me put it this way. I had fun with it. We razzed the game when it came to silly plot points and bad dialogue and stuff like that. My usual commentary, people were entertained by it. And if you can believe it, great support. People came out to support. We hit 2 goals, and it was time for DSP Tries It. So we did it. We did DSP Tries It today. It was the McDonald's Shamrock Shake and the Angel Reese meal. If you want to see it, check it out over on DSP Reacts right now. That's at DSP Reacts on YouTube. It is live. And last time I did a McDonald's DSP Tries It, people loved it. It was actually my most viewed one in a long time. So hopefully you'll enjoy this one. Okay, actually 2 camera shots where I was going back between this and the wide shot, and eating food, and I would come back to this shot. It was pretty funny. Okay, so I hope that you'll give it a look, and hopefully you will enjoy the DSP Tries It that I did. For some reason, my camera is not doing the recognition, so I can't get it to stop following, I guess, but it's not working. Whatever. Actually, I don't even think it's following me. Oh, no, it is. It's following me, but it won't do the recognition. Maybe because I turned the camera off, it won't recognize my hand. Oh, there it goes. It just did it. Okay, good. All right. So anyway, great first stream, especially with the DSP Tries It, okay? For the late stream tonight, it was more Avowed, 2 hours of Avowed, and we basically did a whole exploration stream. The entire left side of the map, I was exploring, I was fighting, I was, traversing, I was doing crafting, I upgraded my first weapons and armor items and things like that for the first time. All kinds of stuff unlocked. Story, a little bit. We did a little bit of the story tonight, but it was mostly trying to unlock and explore the whole left-hand part of the starter map. So it was great. There was a lot of opportunity for us to talk and have social interaction. Rather than just be focused on the game, we had a good hangout session instead of just that. And I think it worked well because of that. Because people were like, oh, let's hang out and talk rather than be hyper-focused on the game. It ended up being much more entertaining. And it was a great time. Okay, it was. It was an absolutely positively great time. I enjoyed it. And I hope that you guys who were there enjoyed it. And guess what? We hit the goal again. So we hit 3 goals today. We're now up to 21 goals hit out of 30, which is the next DSP Tries It. So, with such a great day today under the belt, I hope you'll check out all the gameplay. Remember, these are new playthroughs, so liking the videos and leaving comments on them helps the channel tremendously. If you could do that for me, I would really appreciate it. Tomorrow, what are we doing?
All right, I think I let it go long enough. God. Oh man, these are getting comical. They really are. Yeah, I took a look at your McDonald's. Whatchamacallit. You're clocking in at 300 views, Phil. 300 views, Phil. So that'll earn you like, I don't know, 3 cents in ad revenue. God. Dude, his viewership is just fucking tanked. It has. Like, he's barely cracking 500,000 views for 3 channels. Like, I think January he was at 480, which is probably his lowest ever. It's bad. February is going to be even worse, being that we have less time. You know, we lose 3 days in the month. And yeah, it's gonna be worse. It's just it's it's not gonna be good for our boy Phil. And support wise too, he took a dip in September. The kick subs have just been have not been good for Phil. He's now significantly. I believe I was clocking between 800 and 900 per month, and I think he's close to 500 gifted subs for the month. And that's not enough for him. Thanks for subbing whoever subbed.
Subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.
Thank you for subbing whoever that was. So yeah, it's not good for him. Now, as it relates to McDonald's and him begging, it's been pretty sad and pathetic for Phil. The one thing I have to caution Phil on is be careful, brother. You're gonna be as big as your wife. That 220 moniker that we're using, it's gonna be both for your mental health and it's gonna be for your weight coming up, because it was funny. I was streaming yesterday, or it was the day before yesterday, and I compared your picture, the way you look now, to what you looked like last summer, and you can significantly tell that you at least put on 15 pounds. At least. This whole nonsense that you weigh 193 is just not true, Phil. I weigh 193, and I'm 6'2". And I compare myself to you, Phil, and no, there's no way. You're pushing close to 215, 220. You are. You need to stop. You need to stop, you need to stop lying to yourself, Phil. But anyway, yeah, that's all really it. Today should be interesting. By the way, I'm going to be streaming today at 10 o'clock. We're going to be tracking our friend, our favorite 220. We're going to see what he's been up to. And of course, he had a couple rants and raves. He's still coping over the interview. And we'll be here to track it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.